Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a story that will completely change the way you see life and spirituality. Meet Cassian Lockwood, a TV producer and musician from Los Angeles, who died after contracting COVID-19 and returned from the other side with an urgent message about a cosmic event, a portal that is about to open on September 9th, bringing a unique opportunity for spiritual growth to humanity. So you know the drill. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to receive all notifications. Get ready, because what you are about to hear will challenge your understanding of reality. Let's go together on this transformative journey. My name is Cassian Lockwood, and I'm here to share a story that completely transformed my life and my understanding of reality. Until recently, I was just another face in the crowd, caught up in the relentless rhythm of life in Los Angeles. As a TV producer and musician, my days were a whirlwind of deadlines, sleepless nights, and ambitious projects. I was always on the move, constantly connected, living as if time was an infinite resource at my disposal. But life has a way of teaching us its deepest lessons when we least expect it. For me, that lesson came in the form of a near-death experience that shook me to my core and opened my eyes to a reality far beyond anything I had ever imagined. It all started when I contracted COVID-19, a virus that I, like many others, initially underestimated. Little did I know that this illness would become the catalyst for a spiritual awakening that would change everything. As I stand here today, still processing the magnitude of what I experienced, I feel an overwhelming sense of urgency. There is a message I need to share. A truth that was revealed to me, which I believe is crucial for humanity. It's about a cosmic event, a portal that is about to open on September 9th, offering a unique opportunity for spiritual growth and enlightenment. I know how this sounds. Believe me, if someone had told me this story just a few months ago, I would have dismissed it as the ramblings of a madman or the plot of some outlandish science fiction movie. But I have seen things. I have experienced things that shattered my former understanding of reality. And now, as the date approaches, I feel compelled to share my story, to prepare those willing to listen for what is to come. What I am about to tell you is not easy to explain, and I am still struggling to find the right words to convey the depth of my experience. But I will do my best to take you on this journey with me, from the depths of my illness to the ethereal realms I encountered, and back to this world with a new purpose. So, I invite you to open your mind and your heart as I recount my journey. Whether you choose to believe it or not, I hope that my story will at least encourage you to reflect on your own life, your own spiritual path, and the infinite possibilities that exist beyond our everyday perception. Because if there is one thing I have learned, it is that reality is far vaster and more mysterious than we could ever imagine. It all begins innocently enough. A slight cough, some fatigue, nothing out of the ordinary for someone who is always running themselves ragged like me. At first, I dismiss it as just another cold, a minor inconvenience in my packed schedule. I take some over-the-counter meds and push on, convinced my body will fight it off as it always has. The days pass, and instead of improving, I find myself struggling more and more. The fatigue deepens, seeping into my bones like a heavy fog. My cough becomes more persistent, each fit leaving me gasping for air. Still, I resist the idea that this could be something serious. I have deadlines to meet, projects to finish. There's no time for illness in my world, but my body has other plans. One morning, I wake up drenched in sweat, my sheets clinging to me like a second skin. The room spins as I try to sit up, and a wave of nausea hits me so hard I can barely make it to the bathroom. As I lean over the toilet, vomiting and shaking, a terrifying realization begins to take hold. This is not just a flu. The next few days blur into a haze of fever and pain. I can barely keep my eyes open, let alone work. My phone buzzes constantly with messages and calls, but I can't summon the energy to respond. The world I built for myself, the constant motion and productivity, grinds to a halt as my body wages war against an invisible enemy. Finally, after much urging from concerned friends, I drag myself to the hospital. The emergency room is a chaotic scene. full of coughing patients and busy medical staff. As I wait, struggling to breathe, I hear fragments of conversation. COVID-19, oxygen levels, ventilators. The reality of my situation begins to set in, and for the first time, real fear grips me. The tests are done, and the diagnosis comes back, positive for COVID-19. The doctor's words hit me like a surreal wave. He talks about treatments, monitoring my oxygen levels, and the possibility of more intensive interventions. But all I can think about is how quickly my life has spiraled out of control. Just days ago, I was on top of the world, juggling multiple projects, feeling invincible. Now, I am lying in a hospital bed, fighting for every breath. As I'm admitted and settled into a room, the gravity of my situation truly hits me. The constant beeping of machines, the urgent, muffled tones of the medical staff, the sight of other patients struggling. It all creates an atmosphere of barely contained crisis. I try to stay positive, to believe I will recover quickly, but a persistent doubt takes root in my mind. For the first time in my life, I am forced to confront my own mortality. The possibility that this virus could take my life, that all my plans and ambitions could be cut short, becomes a terrifying reality. As I lie there, watching the numbers on the monitors fluctuate, I find myself reflecting on my life. Have I truly lived? Have I made a difference? These questions, which I have always pushed aside in favor of the next project or deadline, now loom large in the silence of my hospital room. Little do I know, this is just the beginning of a journey that will take me to the brink of death and back, forever altering my perception of life, spirituality, and the very nature of existence. As the days in the hospital stretch into weeks, my condition rapidly worsens. The virus ravages my body with a ferocity I never imagined possible. Each breath becomes a struggle, a battle against the weight that seems to press down on my chest. The pain is constant, radiating through my body like liquid fire. I drift in and out of consciousness, my grasp on reality growing more tenuous by the hour. The medical team works tirelessly, adjusting treatments, monitoring my vital signs, doing everything they can to keep me alive. But I can see the worry in their eyes, hear the apprehension in their whispered conversations. They talk about organ failure, about last-ditch efforts. The severity of my situation becomes impossible to ignore. One night, things take a drastic turn for the worse. I wake up gasping for air, feeling as though I am drowning on dry land. Alarms go off, and suddenly my room is a flurry of activity. Through the haze of pain and fear, I hear fragments of urgent conversation, critical oxygen levels, multiple organ failure, need for intubation. As they prepare to put me on a ventilator, a wave of terror washes over me. I realize that this could be the end. This could be the last moment I am conscious, the last chance I have to communicate. In that moment, all the things left unsaid, all the relationships neglected, all the dreams postponed, they all come rushing to the surface with devastating clarity. I try to speak, to convey some final message to my loved ones, but no words come out. The last thing I see before losing consciousness is the worried face of a nurse, her eyes filled with a mix of determination and compassion. What follows is a descent into darkness unlike anything I have ever experienced. I am aware of my body, of the pain and the struggle, but it feels distant, as if I am slowly disconnecting from it. Time loses all meaning. I float in a void, suspended between life and death, between the physical world and something more. In this liminal space, I experience flashes of my life. Memories, both cherished and long forgotten, play out before me. I see myself as a child, full of wonder and possibility. I relive moments of triumph and failure, of love and loss. It is as if my entire existence is being laid bare, examined, weighed. But it's not just my own life that I'm witnessing. Somehow, I become aware of a vast tapestry of interconnected lives and events. I see the ripple effects of my actions, how they touched others in ways I never realized. For the dreams I was too afraid to pursue. But alongside this regret is a growing understanding, a realization of the preciousness of life, the importance of love and connection, and the need to live authentically and with purpose. As I sink deeper into this state, hovering on the edge between life and death, I feel myself letting go. The struggle, the fear, the pain, it all begins to fade. A sense of peace washes over me, unlike anything I've ever known. And just when I think this is the end, just when I'm ready to surrender completely, something extraordinary happens. A light appears in the distance, a point of brilliance in the vast darkness. It grows, becoming larger and brighter, pulling me toward it with a gentle yet irresistible force. As I approach, I feel a warmth, a love so pure and unconditional that it defies description. And then, in a blinding flash, I find myself in a realm beyond anything I could have imagined, a place that will forever change my understanding of life, death, and the nature of reality. In an instant, the darkness dissipates, and I find myself suspended in a space of pure, radiant light. It's not a blinding light, but a soft, warm glow that seems to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. The pain that has been my constant companion for weeks vanishes, replaced by a profound sense of peace and well-being. This realm defies all earthly logic. There are no walls, no ceiling, no floor, just an infinite expanse of luminescence. I have no physical body, but I am acutely aware of my existence. It's as if I have been reduced to pure consciousness, free from the limitations of flesh and bone. The silence here is absolute, but it is not oppressive. It's a silence full of potential, of unspoken wisdom. As I float in this sea of light, I become aware of a presence, or rather, multiple presences. They are not visible in any conventional sense, but I can feel them surrounding me, radiating love and acceptance. Suddenly, I am overwhelmed by a sense of coming home. It's as if I have returned to a place I have always known but somehow forgotten. All the worries, fears, and regrets that plagued me in life seem trivial in the face of this all-encompassing love. As I bask in this feeling, I begin to perceive something more. Knowledge, pure and unfiltered, begins to flow into me. But it's not like learning facts or numbers. Instead, it's as if veils are being lifted from my consciousness, revealing truths that have always been there but were hidden from view. I understand, with perfect clarity, the interconnectedness of all things. I see how every action, every thought, ripples out to affect the entire universe. The artificial boundaries we create between people, nations, even species, dissolve in the face of this supreme unity. Time, as I knew it, ceases to exist. Past, present, and future seem to coexist in this eternal moment. I glimpse events yet to come, potential futures branching out in infinite directions. Yet none of it feels overwhelming or confusing. There is a perfect order to it all, a cosmic dance of incredible complexity and beauty. In this state of expanded consciousness, I also gain insights into the nature of life and death. I realize that what we call death is merely a transition, a shift in consciousness from one state to another. The fear of death that grips so many of us seems absurd from this vantage point. As these revelations flood over me, I feel myself expanding, merging with the light around me. The boundaries of my individual consciousness begin to blur. For a moment or an eternity, I experience complete union with the divine, with the source of all creation. It is a state of ecstasy beyond anything I could have imagined, a love so deep it defies description. Just when I think I can experience nothing more extraordinary, something new begins to happen. A small sphere of dark energy appears in the distance, slowly moving toward me. Despite its contrast to the surrounding light, it doesn't seem threatening. Instead, it pulses with a different kind of energy, equally vital and important. As the sphere approaches, I sense that it contains some crucial information, some key to understanding my purpose. And then, in a flash of comprehension, I know, this is not the end of my journey. There is a reason I am being shown all of this. A mission is about to be revealed, one that will send me back to the world of the living with a message of utmost importance. The sphere is now directly in front of me, hovering like a cosmic messenger. As I prepare to receive its message, I am filled with a mixture of anticipation and awe. Whatever is about to be revealed, I know it will change everything. As I contemplate the mysterious dark sphere before me, a new presence makes itself known. It is different from the diffuse, all-encompassing presence I have felt since entering this realm of light. This presence is more focused, more defined, but no less awe-inspiring. Gradually, a form begins to take shape. It is not a physical form as we understand it on Earth, but rather a concentration of light and energy. The being before me is radiant, pulsing with a power that is both gentle and immense. I instinctively understand that I am in the presence of what we might call an angel, though that term feels inadequate to describe the majesty of this celestial being. The angel has no discernible features, no face or limbs in the human sense. Instead, it is a swirling vortex of light, constantly shifting and transforming, yet maintaining an unmistakable core of identity. Colors I have never seen before dance within its form, creating patterns of indescribable beauty. As I gaze upon this divine messenger, I am overwhelmed by a sense of love and wisdom. It's as if all the knowledge of the universe is contained within this being, but there is also a deep sense of compassion and understanding. I feel completely seen and accepted, every aspect of my being laid bare before this celestial presence. Then, the angel begins to communicate. It's not through words as we know them, but rather a direct transmission of thought and feeling. Ideas and emotions flow into my consciousness with perfect clarity, unhindered by the limitations of language. Cassian, the angel begins, and hearing my name in this realm sends a shiver through my entire being. You have been brought here with a purpose. Your journey to the brink of death was no accident, but a necessary step to prepare you for what is to come. The angel's message continues to unfold in my mind, each concept expanding into a universe of understanding. I learn about cosmic cycles, about the ebb and flow of spiritual energy that governs the universe. And then, the angel reveals the core reason I was brought here. The portal of 0909 is approaching. It is a cosmic event of great significance, a rare alignment that opens a direct connection to higher dimensions. This portal offers humanity a unique opportunity for awakening and spiritual evolution. As the angel speaks, I see visions of this portal. It is not a physical door, but rather a window of time, a convergence of energies that creates a bridge between our world and higher realms of consciousness. I understand that this event has the potential to catalyze a great shift in human consciousness, to awaken those who are ready for a new level of spiritual understanding. You, Cassian, have been chosen as a messenger, the angel continues. Your near-death experience has attuned you to these higher frequencies. You will return to your world with the task of preparing others for this event, of helping to raise the collective consciousness so that as many souls as possible can benefit from this cosmic opportunity. The magnitude of this responsibility washes over me. I feel both honored and overwhelmed. How can I, a mere TV producer and musician, fulfill such a monumental task? Sensing my doubt, the angel's energy wraps around me in a cocoon of reassurance. Do not fear, Cassian. You will not be alone in this mission. We will guide you, and you will find allies among those whose hearts are open to the truth. Remember, it is not about convincing everyone, but about reaching those who are ready to listen. As I absorb these words, I feel a subtle shift in the environment around me. The light seems to pulse with a new intensity, and I sense that my time in this realm is coming to an end. The angel senses my understanding and speaks one last time. Time is short, Cassian. The 0909 portal will open soon. You must return and share what you have learned. Remember, love is the key, love for yourself, for others, for the planet. It is through love that humanity will rise. With these words, I feel myself being pulled back. The light begins to fade, and the feeling of peace and unity starts to slip away. But before I leave completely, I hear the angel's final words echoing in my consciousness. You are not alone. Cassian, we are always with you. The transition back to the physical world is abrupt and disorienting. One moment, I am immersed in the infinite light and love of the spiritual realm. The next, I am violently pulled back into the painful reality of my sick body. The first thing I register is the pain, intense, piercing, brutally reminding me of my physical condition. My lungs burn with every forced breath, and every inch of my body seems to scream in protest. The sounds around me assault my senses, a cacophony of the constant beeping of machines, the urgent whispers of the medical team, the hum of life support equipment. Slowly, I open my eyes, blinking against the harsh, artificial light of the hospital room. The colors seem raw and harsh compared to the ethereal softness of the realm I just left. I see faces looking down at me, doctors, nurses, their expressions a mixture of shock and relief. "He's awake," I hear someone exclaim, and suddenly there is a flurry of activity around me. Gentle hands touch me, checking my vitals, adjusting tubes and wires. I want to speak, to tell them about my experience, about the important message I have to share. But I realize there's a tube in my throat. I can't speak. The next few days pass in a blur of medical tests, specialist visits, and a slow, painful recovery. Gradually, as my condition improves, the tube is removed and I can start to communicate again. But I find it difficult to express what I experienced. How can I put into words something so vast, so transcendent? My doctors attribute my resurrection to a combination of aggressive medical treatment and what they call an extraordinary will to live. They talk about my case in terms of statistics and probabilities, marveling at my recovery, but unable to truly understand what happened. But I know the truth. I know that what I experienced goes far beyond current medical understanding. The memory of the realm of light, the angel, the message I received, it all remains vivid in my mind, an anchor of certainty amidst the confusion and pain of my physical recovery. As I regain strength, I begin to feel a growing sense of urgency. The 0909 portal is approaching, and I have a mission to fulfill. But how do I begin? How can I convey the importance of this cosmic event to a world so caught up in its earthly concerns? As I struggle with these questions, I also notice subtle changes within myself. My perception seems to have been heightened in some way. At times, I see flashes of light or energy patterns that no one else seems to notice. I feel more attuned to the emotions and energies of those around me, as if I can sense their thoughts and feelings. Most importantly, I feel a deep, all-encompassing love that I've never experienced before. It's as if my heart has been opened, allowing me to see the beauty and divinity in everyone and everything around me. Even in moments of physical pain or frustration, this love remains, a constant and comforting presence. As my discharge from the hospital approaches, I find myself facing a new challenge. How can I reintegrate into a world that now feels so different? How can I fulfill my mission while navigating the practical demands of everyday life? One thing is certain, I cannot simply return to my old life. The experience I had fundamentally changed me, and I know I cannot, will not, ignore the calling I received. The 09 to 09 portal is coming, and I have a crucial role to play in preparing humanity for this transformative event. As I prepare to leave the hospital and face the outside world, I feel a mixture of apprehension and determination. The road ahead won't be easy, I know that, but I also know I'm not alone in this journey. With the guidance of the spiritual realm and the strength of the love I now feel, I am ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. My mission is only beginning, and time is short. The 0909 portal is approaching, and there is much work to be done. Leaving the hospital feels like stepping into a completely new world. The colors seem more vibrant, the sounds sharper, and there's a pulsing energy in everything I see. It's as if a veil has been lifted, allowing me to perceive layers of reality that were previously hidden. My first days at home are a mix of physical recovery and deep contemplation. My body is still weak, requiring frequent rest and constant care. but my mind is in overdrive, filled with memories of my experience in the realm of light and the urgent mission I was entrusted with. The date of 909 looms over me like a cosmic deadline. I know I have to act, that I have to start spreading the message about the approaching portal. But where do I start? How can I address such a vast and transcendental topic in a way that people can understand and accept? I decide to begin with those closest to me. My family and closest friends have noticed a change in me since my near-death experience, and they are curious, though a bit apprehensive. I sit with them individually, sharing my story with care and patience. The reactions are varied. Some are fascinated, their minds opening to possibilities they had never considered before. Others are more skeptical, attributing my experience to hallucinations caused by lack of oxygen or medications. Some even seem frightened, unable to reconcile what I'm saying with their established worldview. The days pass quickly as I prepare for the imminent 0909 portal. Each morning, I wake with a renewed sense of purpose and urgency. The date is approaching, and I feel the weight of the responsibility that has been placed on me. I spend hours meditating, trying to tune myself more deeply to the energy I felt in the realm of light. Sometimes, I catch glimpses of that peace and clarity, but they are fleeting, slipping through my fingers like fine sand. Still, each experience leaves me more confident, more connected to my mission. I try to share my message with those around me, but I encounter resistance. Emily, my closest friend, looks at me with concern when I talk about the portal. "Cassian," she says gently, "you went through something traumatic. It's normal to seek meaning in it, but a cosmic portal. Don't you think it might be your mind trying to process what happened?" Her words hurt, but they don't shake my conviction. I remember what the angel said. It's not about convincing everyone, but about reaching those who are ready to hear. With that in mind, I continue sharing my story, hoping it will resonate with those who need to hear it. As the days go by, I begin to notice subtle changes around me. Repeated numbers, especially the number 9, seem to follow me everywhere. I meet people who seem strangely attuned to my ideas, as if the universe is conspiring to help me in my mission. My sensitivity to energy also increases. Sometimes I see auras around people or feel waves of emotion that aren't mine. These experiences are both exciting and unsettling, constant reminders that my perception of reality has fundamentally shifted. As the date approaches, I feel an intensification of the energy around me. It's as if the very air is becoming denser, charged with potential. I don't know exactly what will happen when the portal opens, but I know it will be a moment of profound transformation for those who are prepared. The days pass quickly as the 0909 portal approaches. Every morning, I wake up with a growing sense of urgency and purpose. The date is still a few weeks away, but I already feel the energy shifting around me. I spend hours every day in deep meditation, trying to tune in more fully to the energy I experienced in the realm of light. Sometimes, I catch glimpses of that transcendent peace and clarity, but they are fleeting, disappearing as quickly as they come. Still, each experience leaves me more confident and connected to my mission. As the days go by, I notice subtle changes in my perception. Colors seem more vibrant, sounds sharper. Sometimes I see flashes of light or patterns of energy that no one else seems to notice. My sensitivity to the emotions and energies of the people around me also increases. It's as if my senses are being gradually tuned to a higher frequency. I continue trying to share my message with those around me, but I encounter a mix of reactions. Some are skeptical, others curious, and some seem to resonate deeply with what I'm saying. Emily, my closest friend, still looks at me with concern when I talk about the portal, but I notice that she's beginning to listen with more openness. The synchronicities in my life intensify. I meet people who seem to be in the right place at the right time, offering insights or opportunities that align perfectly with my mission. Repeated numbers, especially 9, appear everywhere. It feels as if the universe is conspiring to help me, opening doors I didn't even know existed. As we get closer to 0909, I feel an intensification of the energy around me. It's as if the very air is becoming denser, charged with potential. I don't know exactly what will happen when the portal opens, but I know it will be a moment of profound transformation for those who are prepared. As I prepare for the final days leading up to the event, I feel a mixture of anticipation and reverence. The 0909 portal is almost here, and I feel that we are on the verge of something truly extraordinary. We are just a few days away from the 0909 portal, and the atmosphere around me feels charged with expectation and energy. It's as if the very air is vibrating at a higher frequency, an almost tangible sense of something monumental about to happen. My days are filled with final preparations. I meditate for long hours, trying to align myself as much as possible with the energy of the approaching portal. During these sessions, I sometimes feel as if I'm on the brink of a great revelation, as if the veil between worlds is growing thinner with each moment. The changes in my perception intensify. Now, I frequently see auras around people, vibrant colors that seem to reflect their emotional and spiritual states. My dreams at night are vivid and filled with symbolism, often involving bright light and sensations of flying or elevation. I continue sharing my message, feeling a growing urgency as the day draws near. Some people remain skeptical, but I notice that more and more people are starting to resonate with what I'm saying. There is a sense of collective awakening in the air, as if more people are beginning to feel that something significant is about to happen. The energy around me continues to intensify. At times, it's almost overwhelming. Waves of emotion pass through me, ranging from euphoria to a deep sense of reverence. I constantly remind myself of the angel's words that love is the key, using this reminder to center myself when the intensity threatens to overwhelm me. As the last days before 0909 unfold, I feel as though I am standing on the threshold of something beyond my comprehension. There's a mix of excitement and apprehension in my heart. What exactly will happen when the portal opens? How will it change the world, humanity? I don't have all the answers, but I feel a deep certainty that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. As I prepare for the final moments before the portal opens, I feel a profound peace wash over me, mixed with an electrifying sense of anticipation. The 0909 portal is almost here, and with it, I feel that a new chapter in humanity's story is about to begin. I don't know exactly what tomorrow will bring, but I am ready to embrace whatever comes, with an open heart and a spirit prepared for transformation. If you enjoyed this beautiful spiritual testimony, leave a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to activate the notification bell to watch each new video and help us spread this message to as many people as possible. See you next time.